Hi guys, it's Stuart from the Film Reelcast. Welcome back. It's Cobra Kai time yet again. It's episode 4 season 3 called The Right Path. Before we get into this episode, just to remind you again, please subscribe, leave notifications, leave comments about what you're seeing, what you like, what you don't like. I really like the engagement from the people who are watching this. I really enjoy doing it, always looking for ways of improving it to find out what you like, what you don't like, just so I can make it better for you and for me. Okay, let's get into this. This is Cobra Kai, episode 4, season 3, called The Right Path. So if you remember from the last episode, Daniel and Amanda, and really LaRusso automobiles, are in a dilemma at a crossroads. They've lost the Japanese business. They've found out that Tom has got all of the Japanese contracts, which means that Daniel doesn't have anything to sell. So that's what they specialise in. So he's really kicked Daniel in the nuts when he's down at the moment. Miyagi-Do is at an all-time low. Karate itself in the valley is at an all-time low. So this is just another kick in the nuts for Daniel. So he's taken the step of going over to Tokyo, Japan himself just to try and put that personal touch, like he likes to do, on winning the business back. And he tries to promote kind of like the family business side of things. And that's what Daniel does believe in. And that's what Miyagi taught him with regards to family. But due to the reputation, and that's what they're built on, that's what many companies are built on reputation, that they're not happy with the karate, what's happened, the fallout. So they don't want to go with Daniel. But Daniel's still bullshitting his family, saying, yep, I think I can still get it back. So it's whilst Daniel is sinking another brandy that he's told by the bartender.
Very American way of thinking.
In Japan, you can always visit someone. They speak to us.
Even when they are gone.
And this is something that I wasn't surprised to hear, because there's always a mystical message in Karate Kid and in Cobra Kai. If you look hard enough, if you look between the lines and you listen to what these wise people say, even bartenders are wise people, that he gives them a message that visit your past. And then as it happens, a advert comes on to visit Okinawa. Remember going back to the Karate Kid 2 roots of where he went there and he found true love and he fought to the death for true love. And Mr. Miyagi showed him his true love of where his roots were as well. So it's a real foreshadowing that he's going to go back there and possibly his village is there. So I'm sure there's hope in his heart that he might also find Kumiko, who is his love, who he fought for in the Karate Kid 2. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's quite ironic that when he's on his way to Okinawa, that it's quite rural and run down. And it looks like it does when it was in the 86 film of quite a basic village, that it isn't built up and it's remained the same and hasn't changed through generations. But it's Daniel's dismay and the look on his face of when he gets there.
Tommy Village Green. A mall?
And he sees Tommy Village Green, which was the village that he kind of not grew up in, but he met all of Mr. Miyagi's kind of friends and lovers and family in that village, that it's no longer run down, that it's a massive shopping mall. I mean, it's got the KFC, it's got fast food, it's got shopping outlets, it's got everything, nothing that he remembers. I think, in his mind, he had turning up in a taxi, the vision, and it being the rundown village, and him getting out as if he's the Messiah, the returning hero, and all of the villagers running out welcoming him with open arms. That's what I think went through in his mind, and that thought was shot down in frames, because it's nothing like what he thought it was. But to his utter surprise and joy, he finds Kumiko dancing, teaching children on stage. The dance that was in the 86 film, that he, or she rather, is teaching the kids. And you get another flashback, and it's a lovely moment. But what amazes me is that where do they find these actors to return them? Being played still by Tamlin Tomita. She looks absolutely stunning. She's aged so well. She looks really graceful. And she sees Daniel and she's so happy to see him. And their bond is instantly there. It's so nice. You can see the connection, and part of you wants him to go back and to be kind of lovers again, be involved again. I did anyway. I just thought it was so nice to see that instant connection. And I know, as I've said before, I'm a real sucker for nostalgia, but it's just great. The way this universe for the Karate Kid is still there, and they're able to bring these old characters back. I mean, Daniel's mum and Kreese, and now we've got Komika back. It's brilliant that they can do this. And there's another twist at the end of it talking about old characters. So they get talking and they go back to her home address and things haven't changed. She was left the house and it's a really traditional kind of Japanese style house. And they sit there and they go through love letters that Mr. Miyagi wrote. And I think it's to her mum that they were lovers together. And this brings back lovely memories and nostalgia. And in the letters, Miyagi talks about that he's got his own family and how proud of Daniel he is. And Daniel, we know, is already missing Mr. Miyagi. He always quotes him. He always wishes he was there to give advice. And it's a nice moment that Daniel gets that peace. It kind of closes a door of the pain that he's going through. It'll always be there, but it's what he needs at this time, at this crisis in his life, where he's lost his dojo, he could lose his garage, for the fact that he's turned down again for the Japanese contract, that this is just what he needs, the comfort.
Thank you, Mr. Miyagi. Thank you.
And I thought, I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought that he was going to kiss her. I thought he was going to take another step. And I don't know how I would have thought about that. Because in a way, they were together. They were a couple. I don't know what happened and why they split up. Daniel obviously had to go back. She went away and she was dancing. She went away around the world, which was her dream. But she hasn't got anyone in her life. And there is that connection. And I thought something was going to happen. I think I would have been alright with it because of what happened in the 86 film, which was so nice. And she's stunning still. She's amazing looking. But whilst this is going on, back in the Cobra Kai dojo, you see Kreese intense the training. And I don't understand this exercise. I think it's to teach people to cheat and to bend the rules. But he's got this plant pot on this massive tree trunk. And it's basically to get the pot off there, to see if you can reach it. And it's so high up that you can't kick it. And people do try. As you can see that people are trying and failing. And Hawk steps up and gives it a go.
Don't you want a running start?
Don't need one.
So as you can see, that Hawk just kicked the trunk down. And I think the message is cheat, be clever, and you'll win. But I think the being clever bit is the cheating bit. Is being merciless, don't play by the rules and think outside the box. I think that's Kreese's way of basically telling people cheating is okay if it's the right circumstance. But for him, we know cheating is okay, period. But that's the only play we really get from Kreese. Again, he's intense in the training, telling his kids, cheating, being aggressive, having no mercy, and that there is this kind of so-called enemy out there that who you're going to take down, and there'll be some massive war soon. It's utter nonsense from Kreese, but that's what he's pumping into the minds and brains of all of his students. And Johnny himself is also going for his own battles. He's trying to see Robby. Remember the failed visiting attempt that he had, where he's let him down again. Robby's doing some kind of community work in a kitchen, and Johnny turns up and wants to speak to him. And unsurprisingly, it doesn't go well. He's trying to play the part of the father figure, but he lets slip that he went to see Miguel and that he's worried about Miguel in hospital. And Robby always feels, and I think rightly so, that he's played second fiddle to Miguel all the time. And his fact that his dad's mentioned him, that he blew him out for his visit to go and see Robby, or to go and see Miguel, sorry, is the kind of final nail in the coffin. And I agree with him. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think he should put Robby first. Miguel's in hospital, he's being looked after, and he's got doctors with him 24/7. Robby's in prison, he's obviously having a hard time, and he saw he had a black eye, and that he needs support from his dad. So really, I think Johnny should be concentrating on Robby and just leaving Miguel alone. He's got his own family. He's got Carmen there to turn up and look after him. You can help him out, but he needs to be with Robby. So Johnny, you got to get your act together. There's a really funny, and for me it was quite predictable. I knew it was going to happen. I'm glad it did. Of where Johnny goes to see Miguel in hospital, and he says to Miguel, in those kind of, it's quite tropey, that you're not a quitter, you're not a loser, let's get up. And he orders him out of bed. He throws the blankets off. He throws his phone, which he wants, on the floor, and the crutches. And he says, right, you can go and get it yourself. You're capable, you're strong, you're a warrior. And Miguel's leaning, the music's playing, there is that tension. I mean, this is what happens, basically.
Go get it.
I can't walk. Even with the surgery, I might never be able to.
Go it!
Never. Can't. Those are just words. They're meaningless. It's time for you to get out of that bed and do something. And I'm always going to be right here next to you. Because I'll always be your teacher. You got this. That's it. Come on. Oh, shit.
It was such a relief that Miguel fell on the floor. Because if he would have got up and walked and beat medical science due to the words being said by Johnny, it would have been terrible and tropey and cheesy. And it would just been awful, for me anyway. It was really refreshing. It was really funny that he just fell on the floor. And then Johnny just didn't know what to do and realised, I think, afterwards that it was a bit of a dopey idea. And that he was probably relating to 80s films of when this happens. And that it just shouldn't work. And it didn't work. And I'm really pleased. It was a very funny, light-hearted moment. So the episode ends with a twist. I think I know what's going to happen. Again, it's not the most technical piece of writing. And you can normally guess what's going to happen. But whilst he's talking to Kumiko, you see a figure coming in from the background, and the look on Daniel's face is priceless. And you realise that it's Chosen, the guy he fought to the death with, and you get the clip as well.
Insulted my honor again, and I kill you.
And the look on Daniel's face is of, oh my fucking God, I didn't know you were still about, but you are. And the way the music goes, the way the tension is as if there's going to be another fight in the bar where they are. But what I think's going to happen is, okay, could be wrong, next episode I'll be eating humble pie, but I think ironically and very handily that Chosen probably is a successful businessman, wait for it, and owns a garage or has some sway with regards to the Japanese car business and can import cars for Daniel, and he becomes very successful, and he then can go home to Amanda without his tail between his legs with a successful car contract. That's what I think could happen in the next episode. Again, I'll probably be eating a lovely slice of humble pie with custard. But I think that's what's going to happen. So that was episode 4. Not a bad episode, but it was nice to see Daniel finally leave America and go somewhere different. And it was nice to see Tamlin Tomita back in the Karate Kid universe. And she looks so well, and that natural bond, as I said, the connection she had with Daniel is there. And it's nice, it's that nostalgia, and I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and it works for me. Kreese is still filling the students' head with absolute nonsense. I think that will continue. And again, it's going to play out. They've had the robbery where we saw Nathaniel was robbed of the money. There's going to be some fallout from that. And Johnny is really losing the direction of where he can go. Robby clearly doesn't want to know, and Miguel isn't his greatest friend. So it'll be really interesting to see what comes out of Chosen and Daniel's meeting. I think it's going to be positive, and it's going to surprise everyone. If he does go back to fight, I don't know what they've got to fight about, and it will just be a bit pointless, and it'll be like raising the tensions for no reason. I don't think it needs to happen. It shouldn't happen. I hope it doesn't. I hope it just plays out that he can help him, and they've kind of gone full circle. Remember, they're adults. They're not kids anymore. They don't need to fight. There's nothing for them to fight about. But it was a good episode. Again, these keep coming thick and fast. I'm really enjoying Cobra Kai. And again, they've confirmed season 4 and beyond. So I think this universe is going to expand. So it'll be interesting to see and great fun to see where this goes. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. A very quick roundup, a very quick review of a great series that I'm enjoying. Remember, I've got season 1 and 2 and The Mandalorian and The Shield that you can check out on my playlist. Okay, I'm Stuart. This is the Film Reel Cast. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you very soon.